Hello, my name is Eyal. I'm currently a high school student. I live in New Jersey. Burst your bubble today.
I think a lot about the ways that my high school wasn't built for students like me. I often found that my teachers didn't understand that there was no one at home to call absences in for me. I lived with my boyfriend's parents, and they only spoke Spanish. My mom, being in rehab at the time, didn't call me in. They couldn't call me in. And my teachers wouldn't excuse my work because my absences were unexcused. And they weren't equipped to handle a life like mine. That's really the ways that I see high school letting me down. It wasn't adaptable. It wasn't built for me.
My junior year, I started struggling a lot academically, right? And my entire life, the entirety of high school, I'd been told by teachers, administrators, that it was laziness or a lack of caring, right? But of course, I know myself. I know that I cared. I know that I knew that I was trying. So my junior year, I ended up being diagnosed with ADHD, which radically changed the trajectory of my academic career in high school. I just remember feeling so left behind, I think. It is something that I wish my high school had better infrastructure to handle earlier on.
I think currently there's been this correlation between the lacrosse and hockey team and sexual assault and sexual harassment. I think it's become and warped into becoming the team is sexually harassing girls. The team is sexually assaulting girls. And teachers and administrators are looking at certain groups of boys and automatically having that preconceived notion that they're up to no good.
I would challenge that in saying that, if these young men are close to one another, and they see one another behaving in some type of way, that maybe it is on all of them, because it's on all of us to prevent sexual assault and sexual harassment. If they're not directly challenging the behaviors of their friends, they're a part of the problem too.
Yeah, I see them as complicit, honestly, because I was on a sports team in high school. In being the captain, if someone was acting up, me and my other fellow captains would address it.
There's something that I was latching onto there about how ill-equipped schools are to deal with sexual assault, harassment, rape on campus. They don't have the resources, they don't have the knowledge. There's like we kind of said, a lack of infrastructure.
My name is Deja. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Tucson, Arizona. Burst your bubble today.
For me, I see the biggest threat to America being a lack of representation. The face of America is changing every day, and Gen Z, more than 50% of us are people of color. And I'm really hopeful that our generation is going to change that people like me are going to run for office one day and win, and that we're really going to bring these diverse perspectives and voices and experiences that make America strong to the places where decisions are made.
I just want to jump in because mine was very similar to that. In the US, it's a single majority democracy. And whereas in the rest of the world where it's where most of the democracies where it's a proportional democracy, I think it's also about people who might not fall into just Republican Democrat. There's no Republican class for the upper class and the lower class, the middle class. There's just one Republican Party and one Democratic Party. So I think that I think I agree. It's lack of representation.
There is a need for representation, but there's also a need for education and people educating not only themselves, because sometimes it's not that people don't have the prerogative to do so, but it's much more so sometimes it's inaccessible. It's not feasible. There are people working their butts off just to make ends meet.
I think the greatest threat would be the sphere of change, right? Whether we're talking about privilege, the two-party system, changing political landscapes. I think people are really scared to challenge the notions that they already have, the assumptions that they've already made up. And I think people are afraid to recognize that the America that's now isn't the America that was yesterday or hundreds of years ago.
I'm Hadeel, I'm 18, I'm from New Jersey. Burst your bubble today.
I think a solution to kind of bursting the bubble is to burst the bubbles that we're placed into and to really strive to see the places where our experiences intersect with other people. And I know for me, going beyond my political affiliation to understand that I'm on welfare just like this Republican who voted for Trump. Like, we face the same struggles, and that we can stand in solidarity with one another in a lot of different ways, and we can reject together like these notions that we don't share anything.
I think what's most interesting about what you all said, it seems like it's just like a practice of like empathy or like kindness, right? Like really, and I know this was something I struggled with a lot in 2016. What I realized was I had to be able to not just criticize those around me, but like criticize myself, right? Criticize my lived experiences, why I believed the things that I believed. If we all learn how to do that, how to be more empathetic, it does feel like we would maybe burst our bubbles in a really important way.
Hi, my name is Juan. I'm 17 from New York. Burst your bubble today.
When thinking about how we can take these lessons home, how we can burst our bubble, how we can get out of these set groups, I think a lot of it comes with honesty and being really authentic. We often don't know how we'll connect with someone else or how our stories will impact them. And you just never know when one experience might, connect you to someone that you didn't know you had a connection with at all.
Burst your bubble! I like that little